So the bowl is on the shelf, so can't ring it. So instead, just listen to any sound in the room. Know that you are hearing. Join your hands in front of the heart. You can gather your attention in this ring, if you like, this space here. Feeling the heart area. Gathering your attention there. It doesn't have to be felt as sharp boundaries. It's just a feeling of being gathered there. Even some energy can build up there. As a balloon, as a cocoon. And now you can bow. Hello everyone, it's good to see you again. Let me just switch off that light. What is it, this cat in my throat? What is it? So, as you see, we can use the frame of the body to gather back the attention. Some say that it's embodiment. Some would say that it's mindfulness of the body. Some would say that it's presence. In that very simple act of bringing the hands together, feeling the energy inside the area, maybe in the heart area, gathering the mind there, your attention. Observing what's going on. This is a very simple and effective way to gather oneself, one can say, right? And you can do that 10,000 times a day. We use the body as a frame to gather back the attention. Computer issue. Good. When you start your sitting practice, you can also use that. You bow to the ancestors, to those who have brought to you the practice, the dharma. You can be grateful for anything. You can have also thought about yourself, about your dedication, your commitment to the sitting practice. Thank yourself for wanting to practice the Dhamma, right? Gratitude for yourself for showing up, sitting, gathering the attention back. And there was a theme that emerged, that has emerged, and this is about the desire to actually attain enlightenment, or the desire to practice and to see for yourself and to develop some direct knowledges. And there are factors that has to be there to motivate you along the path, right? Of course, if you sit and meditate for well-being, then well-being is the motivation. So well-being, you know more or less how it feels. So okay, it's in order to get these kinds of results. So you know why you're sitting. For enlightenment, you do not know really. You've heard that it's about, all right, purifying the mind, having no longer greed, hatred, and ignorance, delusion in the mind. You have no idea how it feels like, how it should look like, what you would get out of that. So I'm sitting there and doing this strange stuff, and maybe I should be better being outside. It's Sunday, 11 a.m. It's very beautiful outside, nice weather, sunny. Why do I sit? Why? Yeah. All my friends are preparing for the barbecue, even having a drink already. See, I'm here all alone, sitting, looking at whatever she tells me to watch. Those uncomfortable topics about life and death and rebirth and getting rid of my defilements and so on. Let's really live, go outside, enjoy life, right? When I can still, instead of looking at suffering and aging, sickness, and death. So, what keeps us coming here, sitting, while we can enjoy life outside, barbecuing, right? There are factors, of course. One has somehow to have faith in what we are doing, faith in our teacher, the Buddha, who realized the end of suffering. So we have to have this desire to end our own suffering. We have to bring some zeal. We have to strive and make efforts to come back over and over again. When we say that, the practice starts when we are secluded from sensual pleasures. All right. It's not easy when we are invited to spend the day just outside eating and talking and drinking, right? I'm not saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that if we have the desire to change something, all right, then it's momentary until we can really skillfully deal with that. We had to seclude ourselves a bit and be willing to put a distance and say, all right, this I have cultivated in the past. Enjoyment of sensual pleasures, good company, friendship, talking about this and that, exchanging point of view, complaining a bit about this person, blaming the world, and so on. Enjoying, getting full, over full, wanting to sleep in the afternoon, and so on. I've tried that. Yes, it brings gratification. I talked about gratification, danger, and escape of sensual pleasures already. There is gratification in doing so. But there is also gratification in doing so. And a few days ago, I was teaching someone the jhanas. So first and second jhana. And I explained that the first jhana. So jhanas are the altered states of consciousness that you can train your mind to have access to. There is a method for that, and you can follow that method, and why not achieve those altered state of consciousness. They are classified as 4 fine material jhanas. So they are also called immersion states or meditative absorptions, and 4 immaterial jhanas, right? So 8 in total. Then there is a higher attainment, which is nirodha, samadhi, so cessation of perception and feelings. And there is also the signless absorption, which is the absorption in the fruit of the path. But I was just teaching first and second, and the very first one, you apply yourself, you apply your thought on the breath, you sustain it long enough until there is sorry, bodily rapture arising in that body. Very strong bodily feeling, very pleasurable, very pleasurable. And this kind of bodily rapture, it is said that it's born out of seclusion. Seclusion from what? From the sensual pleasures, the worldly sensual pleasures. But then you sit and you fill yourself with these bodily sensations, very strong, very enjoyable. You don't need barbecue, you don't need drink, you don't need friends. You sit there, apply thought, sustain thought on the breath, body filled with bliss. Intensity can be very, very strong. Then there is the second jhana, where you which is without applied thought and sustained thought, and which fills you with very strong inner joy. I was talking, I gave a simile, and for me it felt really like the beatitude of the saints, of the mystics, Christian mystics, for example. It's so strong that you can even have tears falling on your face. You can have a big, big smile, because it's like very difficult to describe. But you can have access to that just by sitting there. Another kind of very strong, pleasant feeling. Very, very strong. It's not that difficult, all right, to reach those two first altered states. You have to commit to yourself, be patient, perseverant, try a few times, maybe increase a little bit sitting time. But those two are actually very pleasant, very, very pleasant. So this is the counterpart. The Buddha understood that, of course, barbecue is very difficult to say no to. I would say. So there is something else. There is compensation. The second jhana is said to be born out of concentration. This is the pleasure, rapture, born out of concentration. First one, born of seclusion. The second one, born out of concentration. And right concentration is part of the Noble Eightfold path, right? So if you are a little bit serious about developing that path for enlightenment, then you have to train your mind to gather itself, to unify, to be absorbed into one object. And right concentration, according to the early Buddhist text, is actually the four first jhana. This is right concentration. And and right concentration. So again, one has to have the desire to develop that right concentration and to train that mind. One has to put some energy, some zeal, some commitment, some perseverance, some patience. Because of course you will try, and at the beginning it won't be easy. Until, oh, she was so right, this is so good. And then concentration is gone. But then you can revive it. And then what does that mean? That means that you can sit with yourself, develop concentration, having this inner joy, you can come back to over and over again. And this is then you can say, oh, I really have something in which I can soothe myself. Of course, you can indulge into this kind of rapture, concentration. Because this is what we is gonna help you to stay seated. But the jhanas are not an end. It's a tool, it's a means. Develop 1, 2, 3, 4, come out of the fourth state and then apply insight practice to develop direct knowledge, understanding, right understanding, panya wisdom. And another factor which is important on that path is energy. Is energy. And when you are in the first jhana state, that means that the 5 hindrances are not present. And the 5 hindrances or obstacles for meditation are desire for sensual pleasures, wanting to get gratification from any kind of using the senses, presence of ill will, presence of restlessness and worry, presence of sloth and torpor, so kind of dullness of the mind, and skeptical doubt. So you start to doubt that this dharma, those practices can really bring an end to suffering. This is what is called by doubt in the 5 hindrances scheme. So as I said, if you have faith already, this skeptical doubt goes out. And if you've entered the first jhana, then the sloth and torpor is also gone. And because your mind is unified, then there is no restless and worries. And because you've secluded yourself and you've decided to really develop the concentration of mind, then there is the gratification for sensual pleasures. This seeking for gratification normally is gone because you've taken the intention to sit there and develop another kind of bodily sensations, let's say, and ill will if it's still there, then you can develop a little bit of metta. But I would say that by this preparation of gathering yourself, maybe with that movement or any kind of other uh, gratefulness, or metta practice for yourself, then ill will is also gone. So those are gone first jhana. And there is faith, there is zeal, there is energy. Actually, second jhana can be so strong that you really feel that energy. And it's too much. At some point you say, yeah, the mind feels bit. There is a lot of excitement in the second jhana. Is okay, let's cool down. This is how you enter the third one. Cooling down of this excitement, beatitude, strong energy. One has to be patient to develop those states, that concentration. And I've heard Ayakema said that patience is actually metta for yourself. Yeah, I agree with that. Patience is say, okay, I'm not perfect yet. I do not manage to do what's asked for. But okay, relax, take a moment for yourself and gently, gently, softly, softly try again. Because otherwise it will be ill will. That was the index finger. Index finger is ill will. Especially if you start blaming yourself for not, not managing again. You're not good at it. So this one, oh, patience. It's gone. Ah, let's try again. Maybe I won't manage this time. Just also drop expectation. Maybe today it's not the day. I'll try again. I'll do my best and do it. Okay, not there yet. Try again. Not there yet. Try again. Oh, tired of trying. All right. Attention on the breath. Feeling good. Forgetting about the barbecue. Just yeah. All right. And this is the way to develop serenity, tranquility. You will need that. You will need that when you will practice inside, because then then you can move through difficult stages in inside practice. During inside practice, when you start to see everything arising and passing away, everything dissolving, might be hard time. So you have serenity, tranquility, you can go back to that. And then the mind can actually, with also the first two jhanas, you have found a way to rest the mind, to put the mind at ease. for at least temporarily, right? Because for normal daily life, let's say that the mind is always in movement. No, it's hearing, seeing, smelling, looking at that, thinking, projection into the future, elaboration, building stories, looking at the past, and again reflecting on that. It might be some obsessions, some addictions. It might be building up a future and putting some energy, let's say, outside. With the first, with the jhanas, it's a way that the mind collects itself. It collects itself in one place. It at least, it looks like it becomes unified to a place. You use your body for that. That's the place to collect the mind. That means that you don't need money. You don't need special conditions. What you need is seclusion. And what you need is perseverance, patience, zeal. You need to investigate a little bit for the presence of those hindrances. Say, okay, have a bit of discernment, saying, yeah, all right, yeah, but this, what she said is, it looks so easy. This method doesn't look very elaborated. She's not a master. Why do I trust her? Skeptical doubt. Yeah, for a moment, I will give it a try. I don't trust her, but maybe the Buddha. Maybe I could. There is an image of the Buddha there. Maybe I could trust the Buddha. He's a bit famous. A bit famous, and I can trust and try. So you have to know a little bit your mind, right? To know which one of those are there. How to, oh, for a moment, temporarily, they are gone. What was I saying? I don't remember. Yes, this is what you need: patience, perseverance, commitment, being kind to yourself, and do not slack. Do not slack. Right concentration is part of the Noble Eightfold path. And I would say I'm talking to those who are actually knows how to maybe to reach the first four. Then you can also strive to reach the material states. And for those who manage to reach some levels, then they can try to go higher, right? In the immaterial states, there are infinite space. This is the fifth. Infinite consciousness, which is the sixth. 7, nothingness. 8 is called neither perception nor non-perception, meaning that the perceiving activity of the mind is is in between. You have to be in that. in order to understand when this name was chosen. But when you're in this, oh yeah, I couldn't have found another name for it. Just suits very well. And maybe you can also try, if you've reached the eighth one, cessation of perception and feeling. All those states are not enlightenment. Some might take the infinite consciousness as enlightenment, as the end of of the path. All right, we are all one. All one. Infinite consciousness. You have access also to some information, and it might be the end. The end. And now they are all higher levels, right? And each of them brings its baggage of insights, let's say. Every time you go into those states, you can, when you get out, you have to, in order to train yourself, to remember how you arrived there, so that you learn the way to them, to have access to them again and again. And when you come out, it's interesting to do insight practice, so to know um, what are the factors that are in your mind at that time, which one are absent, and to look at the three characteristics of existence, which are impermanence, not self, and dukkha. That because they are impermanent, you when you open your eyes and have to talk, and then they are, of course, they are gone. They are impermanent. So you can do insight practice in them. In the four first jhanas, they are helping the mind to become very tranquil and sharp and ready for insight practice. There are different schools really in the world. There are some say that you don't need the jhana to do insight practice. Start with insight practice. Those say, yeah, at least reach the fourth jhana and then starts. Once it's done and you're really mastering the states, then you can start insight practice. And what I see in the Pali Canon is that there is no first, second, right? So all at the same time, maybe. I was trying to remember how I did it. I started with strong concentration with the jhanas, and then did insight practice. For materials, for immaterials, then insight practice on the jhanas. And then later I did a mix of both, and then later only insight. And there is at some point, if you look at the 5 last feathers for bondage, the last 5 feathers that are let go of for ironship, there is this attachment for material and immaterial realms. That means these subtle attachments that might arise during the jhana. So I say, yeah, no jhanas, no jhanas, only insight. So at some point also in my teachings, I would say, yeah, that jhana good, but no. So later I realized that how much this also had influenced the way I do it. But now the jhanas are jhanas are back. Jhanas are back. I thought, yeah, the I will keep. I will start teaching them again because this is how everything started, and also most importantly because um, they are part of the 37 factors of enlightenment. That, yeah, I do not remember them by heart. The four jhanas are in them. Yes, and what I said also to the students I was teaching those jhanas is that you cultivate and make very good karma by training in those jhanas, and that you orientate your destination for rebirth in the godly realms as well. So those are the advantages. Well-being, yes. If you are not only, let's say, obsessed by enlightenment, you can cultivate them for those reasons. So I'm slightly putting them back uh, in the teachings because they are part of the 37 factors of enlightenment. Um, they are very helpful in daily life for mental health and for bodily health as well. I don't know what kind of um, chemicals you produce when in those states. But most probably some chemicals which actually help the nervous system to calm down, right? Because you feel it. And it has, even if you come out of those states, they are temporary. Most probably because you've released some very good chemicals for the body. Then when you stand up and start your daily activity, you still feel the calm. You still feel how the body is quite relaxed, and it lasts for a while. It lasts for a while. Well, it depends on what you're doing right away. Right away, if you feel yourself in a very busy, stressful, I don't know if you have to take the, yeah, I do not have an example, but then maybe the effects do not last that long. But if you are, if it's Sunday and you are just doing some simple tasks like cooking, sweeping the floor, doing the dishes, things like this. The effect can last the entire day for a 1 hour sitting. And this is a type of calm and serenity which cannot be obtained through normal means. All right. Through getting something from, I would say, the world. Maybe the first jhana could be obtained while, I don't know, watching a very beautiful sunset, being on the beach, and alone or with another calm person, and just maybe with the movement of the waves coming in, coming out, and just staying with that. This can bring you into this kind of state. But for the fourth jhana, of course, first and second jhanas, you can still be in that state while being in the world. But fourth jhanas, this is the kind of equanimity, which is I cannot imagine another way than just sitting by yourself. And also, I would say it's important to train for first one, second one, third one, fourth one, not to jump. Then you can do that when you have mastery over them. You can train to jump from one state to the next. And also something to say that even after his enlightenment, the Buddha kept using them, not training them, but being in them. And he would go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which means that this is not because you're fully enlightened that your mind doesn't need to sit for concentration. And because also it's a good place to abide, let's say, to dwell. This is the point I should have said at the beginning. That was actually the main point, but it comes only now. Is that as a piece of advice, if you want to train in those states, you need to learn how to put aside worldly concerns, because the mind will keep actually thinking about what you are used to think during the day. It, it, those concerns will be brought into your meditations, right? So, at some point in your life, in your practice, you have to learn how to simplify, at least for the moment you're training those states, as much as possible, uh, your life. So, to the simplest task, right? Simplest task, like, all right, doing some housework, cooking, very simply, showering, walking, sitting. For a while, you have to learn how to mm, discard any entertainment, right? If you can also reduce a lot speaking, so reduce phone calls, right? You can do that. Because your mind wants to know, your mind wants to say, so it keeps itself in the worldly concerns. I have things to arrange, and then it comes back into your meditation. This is why if you start training for those states, then this seclusion from the world is a bit necessary. So I encourage actually to start, for example, in a jhana retreat, or to put yourself in self-retreat. Maybe you cannot do that for 15 days, 3 weeks, 1 month, but you can start over the weekend, for example. If you have husband, family, very difficult. Very difficult if you have only 30 minutes a day to train, to be very, very honest. So, not what if you need to seclude yourself, prepare your environment, then I suggest to not watch movies or any kind of entertainment. Only allow yourself to basic needs, to fulfill the basic needs. All right. Of course, you will have to go to the grocery store, but stay mindful. And just for a while, spend time with yourself. Say to other, okay, I won't be, I won't be available for a while. Switch off the phone. Don't watch the social media. Maybe you can read the dharma, the instructions. And once you've managed to reach them and to know the way and how to go from one to the next and go down, and then you have proficiency in the states, then of course family is there, work is there. Say, okay, I'm going to my room, then you sit, then you go to the states, and it will become very like playing the piano, you know. Beginning is like, oh, so difficult. Then you do not know how to coordinate fingers, and then you have to repeat. I've never learned the piano, so I don't know how it is. I learned to play the guitar. Okay. Very difficult. And then, oh, and then the two hands can can do different things, right? And then at some point you take the guitar, you do not even think, and then you play a song. And then it happens even if there are people around, even if there are distractions, you just know. Right? Same for the training the mind. But at the beginning, you have to say, okay, I need to practice my guitar, to practice the guitar. So you have to put it to go in another room, and then for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 1 hour, say, all right, let's do that. Oh, no. And again. So it's no different. And the effect of the jhanas will help purify the mind. And the more you are away from the five hindrances, the more you know how it feels when one of them is present. All the five, all the five hindrances are present. Oh, you start to say, to feel for yourself, oh, I really prefer when they are not there, when I sit. So you will start to cultivate the conditions that actually make them like this until they are gone for good, no longer arising. All right, that was today's talk. Thank you for listening. And I wish you a nice mind training, which is necessary for the path. Right concentration, necessary. Samadhi. Mindfulness, effort, concentration. Cannot ring the bell, the board. Say, you're welcome. You can leave if you have any questions. Just ask. If you want personal training, personal instruction, you can, of course, reach me anytime.